Ryan Aber from newsok.com here with Brooke Pryor on a cold and windy Owen Field, where on Saturday Oklahoma staged its spring game. And Brooke, this was a different atmosphere than any spring games that we've been a part of before. There was an announced crowd of a little bit north of 50,000. Not sure that many people made it out here with the weather the way it is. You see things whipping by our faces here, but still just a more festive atmosphere than we've seen.
It was, and like you said, there were 50,000 here, and all those people turned out. You know, there was the Trace Adkins pregame concert, but the big reason for everyone to be here is a tribute to Bob Stoops, who of course retired last June. This whole weekend was centered around him and the salute to Bob Stoops. That event kicked off last night with a gala. Today there was the statue dedication and unveiling in front of the Switzer Center South Lawn, and then today at halftime, Bob Stoops came out on the field, was presented with some more stuff. People cheer for him. The whole 9 yards. The field is decorated in his honor, and so of course that drove a lot of people out here.
And another non-football game note, at the end of that ceremony honoring Bob Stoops this morning, OU President David Boren had to be taken to the hospital after having some health issues.
Yeah, he had a medical episode. He was in the middle of giving a speech as a part of this dedication when he became a little disoriented, is what it appeared to be. Athletic Director Joe Castiglione stood up and kind of took over for him, and that's when paramedics came and tended to him in the front row. And according to Castiglione, Boren looked at him, kind of made the face that said that he was good, flashed him a thumbs up, and he was taken off in a stretcher as what Castiglione called was largely a precaution, and said that they were hoping for good news. There hasn't been another update since then, but it seems like they're operating under the no news is good news.
All right, and let's talk about the game a little bit. The big attraction in this one was Kyler Murray and Austin Kendall. Lincoln Riley has talked up a quarterback battle. There's been some of us who have wondered, how much of a battle it really was. But today, neither one of them really stood out, but it looked like Austin Kendall maybe performed just a little bit better than Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. Talking with Lincoln Riley after the game, he said, early in the spring, Kyler Murray had the edge in the quarterback competition, was playing a little bit better, but recently Austin Kendall has really settled in, has been playing a lot better, and you saw that today. He opened up the spring game with a 15-yard run, had a touchdown throw in overtime to Grant Calcaterra on the goal line where Grant Calcaterra just went up in traffic and brought the ball down. But I think the most surprising thing going back to that run is he was a really mobile guy, and that's not something that's really on his scouting report. He's known as a pocket passer, but today he showed a couple times that he could roll out of trouble, that he could get down the field, and I think that's going to maybe even this competition up a little bit, where it seemed like Kyler Murray had the potential to run away with it.
Yeah, and Austin Kendall, I think his mobility gets overlooked a little bit because of Kyler Murray's just fantastic mobility. Didn't see him do a lot today in that regard, although there was one play, wound up getting whistled dead, but the way that he danced between two defenders might have been, to me, one of the most exciting plays of the day, seeing that happen. Also, Brooke, a little bit of a scary moment there really early in this one when Trey Sermon goes down. It looks like a right leg, lower leg or knee injury. After the game, Lincoln Riley said he didn't think it was too serious, though.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's a really encouraging thing because, like you said, it was early in the game. He was tackled by Patrick Fields. It was a good tackle by Fields. Sermon just landed kind of awkwardly and was down on the field for quite a while as trainers kind of surrounded him, and then he was helped off the field and then quickly helped back to the locker room, going back there with Kenneth Murray, who wasn't playing today, and running back Rodney Anderson, who was also not playing today. But with him being out, you saw a lot of other guys get action in the game. Kennedy Brooks played really well. Don't have his final stats, but he scored a couple touchdowns after halftime. He was a primary target and a primary guy, offensive weapon on his team. Also saw Marcelius Sutton scored the game-winning touchdown in overtime. So you saw a lot of guys. They kind of spread the ball out, and you could kind of see the depth of this running back group as it goes beyond kind of the first and second guys in that room.
And the actual spring game portion, the competitive portion of the game, ended with a failed two-point conversion attempt after Sutton scores a touchdown to put one team ahead. Calcaterra scores a touchdown that looks like could tie it. Lincoln Riley elects to go for two and nearly got it, but didn't quite fall in. And so Team Peterson, I think it was, right, comes out with the win. And they're going to get a good meal. Marcelius Sutton said he hoped it was steak and chicken with some mac and cheese and mashed potatoes on the side. We'll see what Lincoln Riley has cooked up for the menu. But Brooke, let's move to the defensive side. You mentioned Patrick Fields a little bit ago. We saw some moments from him. We saw some moments from Buki Radley Hiles. Hope I got that name, every part of that name correctly. And we also saw Miguel Edwards come out with a really nice interception as well.
Yeah, I think the surprise here is that the guy that got the interception wasn't Radley Hiles, but Miguel Edwards, a guy that, has been talked about a little bit within the secondary and from the coaches, but said that he still, had room to grow, needed to catch up, and he got the intercepting Austin Kendall kind of right near the end zone. Just a play after Radley Hiles went and was in Grant Calcaterra's face, cost him to kind of lose the ball, and the ball ends up bouncing right off of his face. And I think that both of those plays were really encouraging. You saw the freshman defensive backs really stepping up, and Kyler Murray said that Radley Hiles kind of brings a swagger to the group of defensive backs that sometimes isn't there, and I think that that's going to end up being kind of a turning point for that room.
All right, so that'll do it here from Owen Field. We're on Saturday once again. Oklahoma hosted its spring game. You can check out newsok.com every day and every morning in the Oklahoman for the best OU coverage anywhere.